Welcome back to a Criminally Basic podcast. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Megan.
So, this week's episode, it might be a little bit shorter. We're going to do a lot more I have a lot of facts and quotes here, but I could only really find about 3 reliable articles. And there are probably more, but these were the most reliable to me. So we have some quotes from all of these, but also I feel like this episode is going to be more of a educational discussion kind of deal. So,
I love educational discussions.
Yes. This week's episode is Why Women Are in Love with Serial Killers.
Oh, I am all about this.
Okay, so we might do a part 2 to this too, just for there's a lot of actual facts in this, but fully factional based episode. This is going to be more there's some facts, but then we're going to discuss some stuff and just talk about this as people. So yeah. Okay. So if you guys don't know, the actual term for people being attracted to serial killers is called hybristophilia. Hybristophilia is a paraphilia in which sexual arousal, facilitation, and the attainment of orgasm are responsive to and contentment upon being with a partner known to have committed an outrageous, cheating, lying, known infidelities, or crimes such as rape and murder. I got this from Wikipedia, but that was the medical definition too, so it's fine. What I find is funny though, the media calls it the Bonnie and Clyde syndrome.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. So, I really wish we had the legal rights to Criminal by Britney Spears right now, because I would have it playing through this whole episode. Because I think
everyone just needs to open 2 browsers and then go to YouTube, play Criminal,
turn it low and have it on repeat.
Yes.
Yeah, perfect episode for this. Okay, there are multiple examples of women marrying serial killers or criminals in prison. Some of the most commonly known ones, at least among the true crime community, is Ted Bundy with his wife Carol, who he had a child with in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Richard Ramirez, who, surprisingly, a Satanist, married a Catholic virgin.
What?
Yes, she was a Catholic virgin. She was a magazine editor. Yeah, oh my gosh, I didn't write her name down. 1 second, I can find it real quick. But yeah, she was a Catholic virgin, and she wanted to get married, have a normal life, but then she goes and marries Richard Ramirez because she thought he was innocent.
Sorry, sweetie, I don't think that's correct.
And that's the thing we find out through all of this, all the cases of this, and I'll get into it later. But her name was Doreen Lyle. It's Lioy.
Lowy?
Lowy? Yes. Doreen Lowy.
Doreen Lowy? That sounds maybe right.
Yes. Catholic virgin, got married to him in prison. She actually only divorced him. They got married in 1996, so a year before we were both born.
Yeah.
She didn't divorce him till 2013, because that's when, as some of you know, they found a cold case and they actually connected Richard Ramirez to that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the rape and murder of her 9-year-old, I'm going to butcher this, I'm so sorry. It's M-E-I, male?
M-E-I?
Yeah.
Lang.
It's Leung.
I think first name is definitely May. Leung?
Yes.
I'm not even going to try.
Okay, we're not going to try. They actually connected the murder and rape to him, and that's when she's like, oh.
Whoops.
Oops, I married a murderer. And then also another known case is both the Menendez brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hell, even Charles Manson almost got married in prison, which, how in the hell can he almost get married? That psychopath, and I can barely keep a boyfriend. That's what I'm mad about.
I mean, same here.
What, he's from southeastern Kentucky, I'm from southeastern Kentucky.
It's a match made in heaven.
Yeah. Wow, rude.
Sorry.
But I'm 5'1", he's 5'2". I guess I have to start a cult to get a boyfriend, don't I?
If we get real desperate, like, girl, let's
start
go in on the whole cult thing.
Sorry, Dad, I am the cult. Okay, so sorry about my little rant. We also, like, all over social media, if you, like, I kind of get on, like, TikTok or Instagram and look for just true crime cases I've never heard of before, just kind of find out what's out there. You will see an ungodly amount of girls simping over Ted Bundy or Richard Ramirez or all these criminals. And it's disgusting because some of them are like teenagers.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely not okay. I think you can find someone objectively attractive without, being attracted to them as a person.
Yeah.
Because I think we can all agree that, like, Ted Bundy didn't look like a monster.
No, he looked, from, like, all the pictures of guys in the 70s, he looked very average and normal.
Right. And I mean, like, that's fine. That's whatever.
Yeah.
But knowing what we know about him now and all of the crimes that he committed and how heinous of a person he was, the fact that there are people who
are in love with this man.
Yeah, in love with this dead man.
Dead man who, like, not just died because of natural causes, was electrocuted to death.
Yeah, like, one of
the most notorious.
Right.
But, like, one of the most notorious serial killers there is. And there are teenage girls who know what he has done and still like, oh, I love him, he's so handsome, he's my man, I want to marry him, blah, blah, blah. And it's disgusting. And it's not, okay. It's not saying, oh, Zac Efron is hot as Ted Bundy, or like Zach Villa, or Villa, whatever his name is, who played Richard Ramirez, is hot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those two as them are kind of hot, I will admit it. But
right.
I've seen girls being like, oh, they're so ugly, the real people are actually hotter, and I'm like,
no.
Bunny, no.
No, sorry.
Yeah. And, like, okay, what they don't understand is if these men were alive now and, like, not out of prison, they would probably kill them the first chance they got.
Yeah, I mean, like, we take Ted Bundy's victim pool, for instance, and kind of his victim profile, and girls who fall within that victim profile, yeah.
I used to have red hair. I have brown hair. It's long. It's straight. Depending on the day, I might have it a middle part. I'm prime Ted Bundy victim.
Right. I mean, like, college age, just out of college, like, kind of that whole young adult, female. I don't get it.
I don't get it. And, like, what's even crazier is there are girls who are in love with Jeffrey Dahmer. In love with Jeffrey Dahmer. When he was alive, there were girls in love with Jeffrey Dahmer.
He gay, like, friends.
He is gay. He only killed men. So, like, me as a female, I personally would be okay around Jeffrey Dahmer. But, like, I know I want to be the victim.
Right. Yeah.
That sounded very mean. I'm sorry.
But I mean, like, neither of us fall into his victim profile. Like, he is still a dangerous human being.
Oh, absolutely.
You're just not high on his list of targets.
Yes.
No, I mean, I've seen, like, compilation videos of girls with, like, kind of coming into more recent years, like the Columbine shooters.
Yes.
Or
all over Tumblr where there's girls in love with the Columbine shooters.
Right.
Well, okay, just even going back to this, when Ted Bundy was on trial, there were women outside and like in the courtrooms just there to look at him.
I don't get it.
I do not get it at all. And like in a little bit I'm going to get into why. And this is not me saying this is what psychologists have found. And some of it, it's like it makes sense. Like, I'm not going to lie. It does make sense. That sounds so weird saying, oh, it makes sense why someone would be in love with a serial killer, but like...
Right, but I mean, psychology is there to explain why people think the way they do and feel the way they do.
Yeah.
So if there is a psychological explanation, like, by all means,
let's talk
about it. Yeah.
So, okay, as everyone wants to know, I actually got way more... It was way earlier than I expected. Oopsie. Why women are attracted to serial killers. So, okay, I got a lot of my stuff from Psychology Today, which very good on this research.
Oh yeah, excellent source.
Love them. Okay, Psychology Today says, women attracted to killers, especially serial killers, are usually in their 30s to 40s, which... a lot of them, most of them are. Some of them are, okay, as a former emo kid myself, I hate to say this, and this is going to sound really weird. Some of them are on the more alternative side, as Charles Manson's and Richard Ramirez's were. Not the point. All of their motives for getting so passionately involved vary. They share in common a fierce sense of protection over the relationship. Some know that their incarcerated spouse is guilty, but others insist on his innocence, despite clear evidence to the contrary.
Is part of it like a delusion?
I'm going to get into it a little bit later. Well, a couple paragraphs down.
Yeah.
But some of it does play into a fantasy type deal. And, okay, I have a quote that explains it better than I can, so I'll just wait to go into full detail.
Yeah.
In that, but some of it does play into a fantasy. I don't want to say delusion, but definitely a fantasy.
Yeah.
And I personally would say it does cross the line into delusion.
Mm-hmm.
But Psychology Today doesn't say so.
Yeah.
So yeah. But okay, I will get into it more later because they have doctors that explain it better than I ever could. So yeah. What I was going to add is most of this articles focus on male serial killers and female partners just because, yes, there are female serial killers. There's not that many female serial killers.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of most of the research is done on male and female, not female and male.
Right.
Just because there's not that many.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry. Now into the other part I was saying. In the article, women who marry these serial killers have given many different reasons why they marry them. What I really thought was sad, though, is women fall to prey, no pun intended, but it was kind of funny, the stereotype that I think we as women have all had at one point, that we can change them.
Oh, the whole, I can fix him. He just needs me.
Yep. That, and like, I fell for it. Not a serial killer, but I fell for it.
Yeah, no, I totally have too.
And a lot of women think they have enough power to change someone as terrible as a murderer. And realistically, it's not going to happen, but we as women get it in our heads. We can change him. He just needs us. Like,
right. And I mean, I think it's a good thing to be like, I want to be a good influence on this person. I want to help this person change. That's all good. Those are good intentions that you have. But especially if it's coming from a relationship standpoint where there are emotions involved and you see someone who's not good for you, but something about you is attracted to them. And so you think, oh, like maybe they will change and I can be the one who does that.
But no, like, I don't think that even works in like a bad boy sense.
Mm-mm.
But when it when it gets to a serial killer type sin, it definitely does not work.
No, once someone goes so far as to kill someone and to enjoy killing someone,
yeah.
I don't think that drive, that urge will ever be fully gone.
No, I don't think it ever will.
No.
I mean, there is psychology test about it happened once, never again, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think so. Like, I honestly don't.
Right.
But, okay, another way is women see it as, like, a nurturing way. And I really couldn't get into details about that. Not because it gave a little details in the article, but it wasn't just, there was enough to go on. You know? At least for me, it wasn't. And then this is another way, and it's also kind of trashy. They want to get with these people to make deals with the media and get money from it.
Mm-hmm. That's, yeah, just like you said, trashy.
Yeah, it's trashy. It's like, oh my gosh, what was that case? It was Chris Watts.
Uh-huh.
His mistress tried to, like, sell her story to publications and stuff, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, I know that there were, like Google searches from her computer. Because I don't remember if that was her, like, original intent. Because she didn't get with him because she knew that he was going to kill his family.
No, but I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, I could be totally wrong. Someone please tell me. Just be nice. I'm sensitive. It was after the fact, and she had heard, like, Amber Fry, is that Scott Peterson's mistress? Was that her name?
Yes, I think so.
She had, I don't think wanted to be like her, but, like, I think she saw it as an opportunity, you know?
Yeah, those we're talking about two family annihilators there. Yeah. Well, no, not two family annihilators, because Chris Watts was a family annihilator, and Scott Peterson, depending on whether or not you believe he's innocent or guilty, did kill. I mean, I guess he is a family annihilator because his wife was pregnant, and yes, okay. So we're talking about two family annihilators here.
Yeah, which are totally different things, but, like, in the case of Chris Watts, his mistress had ulterior motives. She thought she could get a book deal and all this stuff and make money from it.
Right. And I mean, to be fair, that's a really interesting story coming from her perspective.
Yes.
However, seeing as how this happened so recently, if you're going to, tell your story from your perspective, keep in mind that there was a woman and her two
little girls.
Children murders, and she was pregnant at the time too.
Yes.
So, like, you wait.
Yeah.
You wait to tell that story.
You definitely wait, but also I don't think her motives were good.
No, I think that there was definitely at least a part of her.
Yeah.
I can't speak to her thought process or anything like that. This is purely speculative.
Yes. Absolutely.
But yeah, I think there was potentially a motive there to make some money and to kind of gain her own notoriety in a sense because of that. Not necessarily a negative notoriety, because even though he was cheating on his wife with her, she was under a completely different impression.
Yeah.
And had no idea of the horrible crimes that he committed or the extent of his relationship with his wife.
Yeah. And that was a long way to say a lot of these women, not a lot, but some of them do get involved for the reasons of media, thinking they can get a deal and get money, all of that stuff.
Right.
And there's also, and this fact from Psychology Today was so interesting to me because, okay, I sound like I'm copying all the Psychology Today article, but, like, it was 3 different ones. we're doing an educated discussion on this. We are not plagiarizing. I have them all in quotes with my little sourcey dude.
Oh, you go, girl.
Thank you. I know you'd be proud of that.
I'm so proud.
Thank you. I might be bad at grammar and spelling, but I at least know how to properly cite my sources.
There you go.
Yes. I try, I really do. Okay. But no, I really thought that was interesting. And the quote says, there's the notion of the perfect boyfriend. She knows where he is at all the time. She knows that he's thinking about her. She doesn't know, but she's assuming. While she can claim that someone loves her, she does not have to endure the day-to-day issues involved in most relationships. There's no laundry to do, no cooking for him, no accountability to him. She can keep the fantasy charged up for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And, okay, the next part is not an actual, quote. This is me just more wondering and speaking, is I just wonder if the serial killers are getting these, I hate to use this word, but naive, very low self-confident people and using their narcissistic tendencies or ways to get them to, I don't want to say fall in love, but fall in love so they have someone to put money in their commissary. They have all that stuff.
Yeah, I like the fact that you brought up the narcissism aspect of this, because on the one hand you have these women who are making these decisions and who are saying these things and saying that they're in love with these killers, and then on the other hand you have the killers themselves who are definitely getting what's called narcissistic supply from these people who are totally willing to keep up this fantasy of them in their head because they don't know the real person.
It's an idea, it's a fantasy. But I don't know. I keep wondering how, I know in their heads they some of them don't think they're guilty, but how, even with the slight chance of them knowing that they've raped and murdered someone, how can you be okay with someone raping another person, even if allegedly, how can you be okay with that thought in your head?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't either. So, in the Vice article I read by Dr. Michael Aaron, Michael Aaron, who is a New York-based sex therapist, says, while this kink is typically applied to heterosexual women, men can experience too. So going back to earlier, there are certain men who are attracted to Dangerous Woman. Pause for a second. If you now would like, you can switch to Dangerous Woman by Ariana Grande. As they may be also attracted to the thrill and emotional industry, such as women evoke. There's less information available because, there's very few women serial killers.
Mm-hmm.
Says Dr. Aaron. That also sounds really weird, saying just Dr. Aaron.
Yeah.
And this is something I talked about, you and I were talking about earlier, is fantasy. Mm-hmm. And so, okay, here's what the mental health experts have to say, because they can explain it better than I can. Mental health experts have compared infatuation with killers to extreme forms of fantasyism, view such women as insecure females who cannot love in a normal way, or as love avoidant, such as love avoidant females who seek romantic relationships that cannot be consummated. In another article I was reading, okay, let me preface by saying this isn't me, I'm physically saying it, but this is not my words.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They say that some women like a dominant man, but conscientiously, most women would like their men to be kind, empathetic, understanding, and respectful, which, as you should.
That all sounds fantastic.
Yes. But there's something in their native wiring that makes a great many of them why can't I English? I know this word. Susceptible to the bad boys.
Mm.
And they were saying that yes, women like dominant men, but those tendencies also fall in line with emotional, physical, and mental abuse.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying all dominant men are like that, but like that's what the experts are saying, not me.
Right. I mean, you can have kind of a more dominant personality and still be a good person.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just you can't take that too far.
Yes. And later in that article, something that's very interesting. Fictional romance novels actually outsell pornography.
Really?
Yes. Well,
that's actually really surprising.
Yeah, because how they explained it is female like romance novels are more catered to women, and like porn is usually more catered to a male viewing audience.
That's true, because most like female-centered romance novels are written by females.
Yes.
So like kind of your audience, and you know what to write for, and you know what other people want to hear and what other people want to see.
Uh-huh.
Whereas with men, I read a study when I was in college, and I can't for the life of me remember what it was. I'll see if I can find it, and we'll link it if we can, but if not, like, don't take my word for it. But I read a study that men are far more visual than women are.
That's what it was saying in this too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like the porn industry is definitely more catered towards men because men like to see things, whereas women like to have kind of the more like world building experience and have the whole package rather than just 5 minutes of boobs and then you're done.
Yes. And that's what basically everything you said worded differently was in that article where it said that. Many women, at least secretly or subliminally, can't help but be drawn towards the cold-hearted, controlling bad boy, whose dominance symbolizes quite the opposite of what in the relationship they're consciously seeking. And okay, so that's the thing is, this is what research I could find. If I had like a month to do this one case, I could find 20 billion more stuff.
Right. I mean, there's tons of resources out there on stuff.
And like I said, this is more of a chit-chatty with some quotes. Thank you for listening to a Criminally Basic podcast. If you want to find more, find us at a Criminally Basic podcast on Instagram and Twitter.
And check out our sources as well as photos on our website, acriminallybasicpodcast.com.